Hello, Amity City. Welcome back to 87.7 Amity After Dark. Unless you're tuning in for the first time. In that case, just welcome. Last night's broadcast was kind of hard for me, so I'm sorry for that. I let my emotions cloud my journalistic skills, and tonight I'm going to make it up to you. I've put a lot of work into this investigation, and I think it'll be a good one. Oh, and before we dive into it, and I forget, tomorrow night won't have a broadcast because I have a lead. One of you reached out and gave me some ideas as to where to find the Amity City the Screecher, where he hides during the day, and some ideas on how to get him out of the city. So I'm going to poke around and see what happens. But without further ado, throughout Amity City, disappearance rates are always high. We manage to keep around 2 times the national average, and our only competition is Bayshore City on the west coast. If you've ever been to Bayshore, I don't think I have to tell you how bad the drug scene gets in Casino and Movie Star City, so most of their missing show back up. However, we Amites rarely see those who disappear again. We also are the largest urban center in the Commonwealth of Free States that has a massive number of wild animal attacks in the city. My sources, I got this case from... Okay, so I've compiled a few police reports for us to go through that were either leaked during the ACPD precinct raids 3 years ago, or given to me after I started manipulating a friendship I had in college. Wow, I sound like a sociopath. It's okay. He's cool. Yeah, he's a cop, and he lets me have cold case files if I go with him to the nursing home so his mom doesn't think he's single. Anyways, what I'm saying is we both benefit, and I'm not blackmailing some random cop. He gave me a few files about the animal attacks a few months ago, and let's just start with the first one. In 1191, so think cowboy days, we had our first wild animal attack. 3 years before the Screecher was seen in the city, so no one really claimed it was him. The report is ancient, but here's what I could gather from it. A man went on a date with a woman, long brown hair, and nice legs. Why do police reports from the past always have to say weird junk? Anyways, the man, who I'm pretty sure was named Marcus, the ink is pretty smudged, Marcus went out to the alley behind the bar he was at with said lady to indulge in adult activity. They heard a bottle shatter down the alley, and he turned to look. He said the girl looked terrified. When he turned back around, the girl was gone, and the biggest dog he'd ever seen was standing there instead. It attacked him, tore one of his legs off, and ran away. He barely survived. I can find at least 15 stories with a similar thread. Person A and Person B. Something scares, angers, or arouses Person B. Person A turns away for around 4 minutes. Person A turns back, and Giant Dog A is standing there and attacks Person A, with Person B seemingly nowhere to be seen. There's a problem, though. Ghosts I have historical sources of. Strange animals and cryptids I can find historical sources for. Cursed buildings are the same way. I haven't ever read in any book on the paranormal or a forum on the occult about a giant dog that hunts people by luring them in with fake human skin before attacking them when their back is turned. Until really recently. Sources are becoming more and more common of, well, not my theory about the angler dog, but people who can turn into animals. Specifically wolves, but I've heard some stuff about stealing other people's faces or animals suddenly becoming people. Anyways, I was reading forums and such and found a pretty significant through line popping up all over Redonia, although Amity has it the worst of any major city. According to one of the sources I found, someone with the username at we_re_wolven, it seems the transformation almost exclusively occurs during moments of high stress, or under the full moon. So I started applying that metric to the police reports. Of all wild animal attacks, 65% were supposedly done by a large wolf or dog. 42% happen on a full moon, and in an additional 42%, there was something inciting that was either scary or arousing right before the moment of the attack. I dug through the cases, found one with a living victim, interviewed her, and then went through my own research avenues. Let's get through some ads and some music, and then we'll start on her case, yeah?
Macomb Insurance would like to offer you a new plan. We know insurance deductibles are high in Amity City. We know the cost is getting too great. So we would like to offer a new policy for $10,000 annually with a $1,600 deductible. It's easy to get insurance in the City of Dreamers. Macomb Insurance, keeping Amity City running.
Burrito Castle is bringing back its four most beloved seasonal items this winter. Come get a chicken 7-layer burrito or a spicy pork quesadilla. Wash it down with a Faust Energy Peach Pit only at Burrito Castle. Cops, EMTs, and fire department personnel eat free every Friday. Veterans eat free every Saturday. And as always, soldiers wounded overseas and a Rovia or Belvac always eat free. Burrito Castle. Be the king.
That insurance deductible is way too low for that annual cost. City's gone downhill since the war started. Anyways, let's get into some music. This is 20 and 4 by Caged Animal Parade. Okay, so I asked the victim if I could use her name, and she said I could if I thought it would help catch what attacked her. It turns out the police excluded a lot from her report, chalking it up to pain medication and shock. So let's set the story straight. Rebecca Halen lives in Hatbridge, where I live. She's a resident of Mariah Street, living in a brownstone with 4 people she went to college with, 2 of which she's dated. She's an overnight nurse, works long hours trying to take care of this city and make enough that she can still live in it. So it should be no surprise that she would want to go to a club on one of her only nights off. She went to Castle, a pretty popular club in North Hatbridge that's pretty clearly run by the Sanguine mob, but we'll talk about them some other day. She was dancing, having a good time. She wasn't drinking. She told me that she quit drinking in college, and now the only chemicals she consumes are caffeine and nicotine. I have no reason to doubt her story. Anyways, she noticed a girl watching her from across the dance floor. Rebecca said this woman wasn't the usual club type. Long hair, mythic motorcycles hoodie. She looked like a biker. The 2 of them started to dance together, and after a few minutes decided to head back to this mystery woman's place. Somewhere along their walk, a car veered off the road. It slipped on the ice and was coming straight towards both of them. Rebecca felt herself get pushed by a human hand, assumedly the mystery woman. She felt her feet leave the ground for a few seconds before feeling concrete slam into her back. When she opened her eyes, she was deep inside of the alley that was behind the 2 of them not a few seconds ago. She told me it was dark, but she could hear the sound of bones breaking, fabric tearing. Something in the air smelled like blood. She could see one of the headlights of the car that had almost hit them as it had slammed into the corner of a building. And in front of it was a silhouette of who she assumed was our mystery woman. She was taller, her body rising and falling in these heavy breaths. Her body was getting wider. Now, Rebecca is a woman in a big city, and she told me just watching that shadow filled her with the same dread of someone smiling at her on the subway. It's predatory. It's primal. She got up to run, but began to hear a guttural grunting, like a dog panting, behind her. She could hear what sounded like claws scratching up the pavement. She only ran about 5 feet from where the cops had found the first section of blood spatter before something shoved her to the pavement, face first. She said it was like a truck pinning her down. Something dug into her back. She said it felt like a hand with long knives on the end of each finger gripping into her entire torso. Then it bit clear through her left bicep. She said in her last seconds of consciousness before shock from blood loss and pain took her, she saw what bit her. It was like a giant wolf, but its eyes showed incredible fear, like it didn't want to do what it was doing. EMS and police arrived on the scene 2 minutes later, as the driver called the cops before fleeing the scene. He was driving drunk. They stabilized Rebecca, canvassed the area, worked the scene. They clearly missed something, because they claimed she was hit by the car and then attacked by a bear. When I went to the alleyway, I could see gashes in the pavement, about 8 feet apart, from something moving on 4 limbs. I wandered further down the alley. It closes off on the other side to a brownstone's backyard, but I found a torn hoodie laying on the ground, coated in dried blood. It had the Mystic Motorcycles logo on it. From here, I can assume some things. 1. Whatever attacked Rebecca was one and the same with the woman she left with. 2. This particular wolf person likes motorcycles. 3. The cops have it wrong. Again. Let's get through some more ads and then just talk theory for the rest of the night. I'm not really sure where to go with this one. There's no folklore to follow up on, and the old cases are cold.
Slovenia cigarettes, they're a fine choice in a dirty decade. Anyone who's anyone or wants to be someone is someone when they smoke Slovenia cigarettes. It's all about the face, is it not? And your face would look quite nice smoking a Slovenia cigarette. It's time for a Slovenia.
The Ariel Theater invites you. Witness a production of drama like you've never seen before. Midnight Oil, the tale of a young man down on his luck, hunted by the mafia, abandoned by everyone, on the run from the law, hiding from the world. A musical written and directed by Denora Halen. Our opening night is next week. Thank you for being a patron of the arts.
Speaking of, and I just wanted to vent about this, getting through an entire broadcast without a smoke break is nearly impossible. If Redonian Ghost would like to sponsor the show so that I can explain smoking inside of my broadcast room, that would be really great. Anyways, this is Long Walk by Critter Fritter. Well, like I said, there isn't much more investigation I can do here, so I figured we would just talk about my theories. Let's start with the castle, the club Rebecca met our mystery woman at. The castle has a long history of collaborating with the Sanguine Mafia, who have their own odd history. We have a caller. Hello, caller. You are live on 87.7 Amity After Dark. What's your name?
You need to drop this one. The deeper you look into this, the worse it's going to get. Listen, you seem sweet. You're clearly not cut out to...
I would very much like it if people stopped commenting on my journalistic skill. Do not tell me what I'm capable of, what I should be afraid of, or how to take care of myself. I would also like to point out, when someone asks your name, you're supposed to tell them. So, caller, what is your name?
You can call me Gearhead.
Great. Gearhead. What makes you think this case is too dangerous?
First-hand experience?
Elaborate.
No.
Please?
Listen, the Sanguine Mafia is a big enough fish. They're dangerous, and the things you're talking about tonight, some of them are just as bad.
Come on. Tell me a story.
The Sanguine Mafia has lots of businesses. Few of them require more dense muscle. The Sanguines have been around forever, but what you're talking about is newer and younger. Unnamed levels of younger. They don't like the attention, and they aren't adverse to killing, okay?
And how do you know all of this, Gearhead?
You'll just have to take my word for it.
Listeners, I think a so-called werewolf just called in to our little radio show. I'm on the right track then. Obviously, I can't just point to one odd call and cry that there's proof of the occult. But what I can do is say that it's proof that I'm looking in the right place. Maybe not to find monsters, but certainly to find an important enough story that someone's willing to threaten me over it. I want to remind you all that I'm not doing this as a way of spreading panic. I don't want the Screecher injured. I don't want to cause a werewolf witch hunt. I'm doing this because I think there's something wrong with our city. These creatures, at the very least, need help, and at most, they might not even know that they're causing harm. Rest assured, listeners, I'm not done looking into this. I'm more than happy to get into the Sanguine Mafia's business. I'm not scared of ghosts or giant dog people. Well, I am scared. But I don't give up on things like this. I have a feeling we'll hear from Gearhead again. But in the meantime, in a city of 6.4 million people, a lot of cries go unheard. A lot of people struggle, and not a lot of people notice. I'm here to help. Human, werewolf, ghost, giant, scary butterfly man. We all need a helping hand sometimes. I'm here to listen to the voiceless. So, if you've heard anything, please, call in. Good morning, Amity City. Rise and shine. Go get some coffee. It's going to be another long day. This is Hannah Price, Overnight Security Council Research Division. That is tape 4 of the radio show Amity After Dark. This was recorded tonight by Operative Investigator Keegan Anderson. The show poses a minor threat to exposing the Preternormal and the Overnight Security Council of Redonia. Of note in this recording is the presence of someone called Gearhead. We do not know anyone by that alias. I am admitting it into evidence right now at 4 a.m.
Amity After Dark is a narrative horror fiction podcast by Livewire Multimedia Stories. Claire White is voiced by Gwen Fullman. Gearhead is voiced by Theo. Advertiser 1 is voiced by Nancy. Advertiser 2 is voiced by Theo. Advertiser 3 is voiced by David Archer. Advertisement 4 is voiced by Elizabeth Fullman. Hannah Price is voiced by Gwen Fullman. Written by Gwen Fullman. Co-executive produced by Gwen Fullman and Elizabeth Fullman, with music by Gwen Fullman. If you enjoyed what you just listened to, please consider contributing to our Patreon. If you would like updates on this project or any of our other projects, come follow us on Instagram at Livewire Multimedia, on Tumblr at Livewire Media, or subscribe to us on YouTube at Livewire Multimedia Stories. Thank you for listening.